Hello. Welcome. Sorry, I clapped. That might have been loud. Welcome again to Katawa Shoujo. Just for a little context, because I know that something is about to happen. I was recording for about 30 minutes. I already got through an episode and a half. And then there was a power out, which sucked, corrupted the file. So I have read this next 30-minute bit before. Um, whatever. No biggie. Just for the record. Although I don't know, because I didn't save, I don't know if it's going to say that I did a choice, but I did a choice. I just want to make that clear. Okay. Here we go again, boys. This is... Hopefully I'll read it better this time, because last time I was reading it, it was a weird time. I messed up a lot. A headache is relentlessly thumping against the back of my head as I push open the door to the 22nd corner. Apart from that, I'm perfectly calm. After venting on Rin all that anger that I had bottled inside, it felt like a great weight has been lifted from my heart. The tension that has grasped my mind from the past few weeks faded away without leaving even a shadow behind. Oh yeah, sorry, I guess I should reintro what happened last time. Last time, we got into a fight with Rin because she was being weird and not really, supporting us, and Hisao stepped up for himself and just kind of was like, hey, I'm not your plaything whenever you're whatever. Um, and then she tried to kiss us, and we said no, you know? And then we sort of started avoiding each other. And here we are. At the exhibition because we promised people that we would show up. That's right. Okay. In this nearly zen-like state of enlightenment, I realized that perhaps it was a bad idea to yell at her like that. I really meant it, but what good does blowing up like that do? Nothing. I am not like that. I don't generally yell at people, but I don't know why I did yesterday. So I keep feeling really guilty about it and wanting to take my words back. Rin is probably upset too, even more than my own behavior. Her reaction shocked me. I always thought of her as unchanging, detached from her surroundings, so that seeing my yelling get her so upset felt out of place. I wonder if she understands how I feel. In Rin's world, everything seems to be so absolute and subjective. Absolutely subjective, as if she was completely unable to see things from other points of view than her own. But ultimately, is anyone able to do it? Maybe objectively and altruism are just illusions for people who like to think of themselves as compassionate. Just like art is an illusion for people who think reality is merely a veil for something greater. Even when you stop thinking that the world revolves around you, or start thinking outside the mythical box, you are just inside a bigger bigger box that you can't escape. Maybe that, ultimately, makes her like the rest of us. I stepped through the door of the gallery to What? I stepped through the door to find a gallery full of illusioned people. Yeah, these are just ghost people that don't exist. They're just sort of illusions. Despite Sai's remarks during my earlier visits, I always thought of it was a very spacious. What? I always thought it was very spacious, but now it's crowded. It looks positively cramped. I immediately noticed Sai standing in the middle of the lively discussion, busily chattering with some old gentleman. She's actually pretty tall and kind of cool looking, so she stands out in the crowd. There are a few dozen wine glasses laid on the table along the back wall, filled with a burgundy liquid. The vast majority of guests are sipping from their own glasses. The socialites and art connoisseurs are mingling happily, exchanging mild opinions about Rin's art, which seems to be a secondary object of interest for most. I feel distanced, excluded from the other people here. I can't even claim at a stretch to be social chameleon, so this situation is quite unnerving. Since I don't blend into the crowd at all, I just fake that I do, trying to look as cool and smooth as I can. I wonder how Rin is handling all of this. If it was me, I would feel quite freaked out. Throwing the anxiety aside, I tried to carefully navigate through the crowd, stealing peeks at the framed paintings now hanging on the walls. Rin's exhibition takes about half of the gallery's wall space. Some paintings are less than familiar than others, but I recognize most of them. Some I've seen created at the club meetings, after all, or remembered from the time when Rin was choosing her portfolio. I noticed that a couple of unfinished paintings are framed along the wall and on the walls as well. Maybe that's why they call coincidental art. Even Rin's failures, if you can call them that, became exhibits of her skill. Quite paradoxical. She herself is nowhere to be seen, which is strange because even though it's crowded, the gallery is pretty small. It's fine, sort of. I don't know how to face her after yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't have come. But I promised various people, Rin included, that I would. So, damn, it sounds like I do things I do because some sort of instinctual properness compels me to, not because it would be sensible or not. I sneaked closer to Sai to wait for a lull in the conversation so I could chat her up too. Even though her voice is almost completely buried under the general background noise, I hear bits and pieces of her talking about Rin. Yes, she's a high school at a local school, even though she's graduating next year. I'm sure various art schools would be interested in. I thought it'd be interested to have an exhibition of someone who's still in early development. It's so strange. It's like Rin is some kind of mini celebrity, even though there is nothing but a small exhibition opening at a small art gallery of a small town. In fact, there is a friend of mine from... It's Hisao! My eavesdropping is interrupted by a familiar voice and a familiar slap on the back. I don't need to guess the source of it either, even without turning around. Hi, Emmy. Hi. Are you like a representative of the art club or something? I don't see anyone else from school here. I like her outfit. She's really cute. I also said this before, obviously, but you wouldn't know. But she looks so weird because she looks turned around. Because I feel like normally she's facing to the left, and she looks backwards this way, and I don't know why. I don't know, really. I guess I am, if that's the case. What about you? What about me? You didn't think I'm interested in art. Is that it, Hisao? No, that's not what I... Well, maybe a little, if you put it that way. I mean, even though you hang out with Rin, I've never heard you talk about art with her, so... Emmy huffs and looks around her, looking discontented. It's true. I don't get it at all. She came to my track meet, so I thought it's only fair to return the favor. She leans closer, trying to look confidential, but only managing to look conspiring. Do you get art? No, I don't. At all. My emphasizing headshake draws a giggle and a cheery headshake of her own, out of Emmy. Me neither. Hey, let's go talk with Rin. I bet you haven't yet, because I haven't either. Come on. Before she has a chance to forcefully drag me to Rin, Nomiya appears behind her with Rin in his tow. She's not dressed for the occasion, instead of opting as the usual school uniform and unkempt hair. Maybe her natural look is what suits her best. Hello, teacher. Hi, Rin. Unfazed, Emmy greets the teacher cheerfully, causing him to turn around and look confusedly. Who are you? I'm Emmy, from school, class 3-4. Don't you remember? She looks positively shocked at the prospect that there could be a person who doesn't know her. Oh, sorry, you're in the same class as Tezuka, right? Yeah. You'll have to pardon me. I'll have trouble remembering students who don't take art. That's still funny. It's literally like, I look, if you're not in my class, I really don't care who you are. Don't mind. Hi, Rin. Hello. Congratulations on your super cool art thing. I'm sure you'll be a big hit. She throws her arms into the air for a boisterous emphasis, almost hitting me in the face. And look, Hisao came too. Rin doesn't look at me, nor does she greet me. Congratulations, Rin. She keeps averting her gaze, pointedly looking at her sandals. Oblivious to the tension between us and ignorant of what happened yesterday, Emmy keeps on blabbering about this and that to an unresponsive Rin. I guess she's used to not getting much out of her at times. Before long, Nomiya and Sai turn to Rin, introducing her. Expecting it, I catch a second of confusion when the guests see her arms. Or lack thereof, I guess. I guess she still has little arms. Sai is luckily on the ball and briefly explains about our school. Doubtful faces quickly change to curious. Would you mind telling us something about your art? I thought the development is quite easily noticeable. What do you yourself think of the differences between the older and more current works? It's quite rare for someone so young to dabble in abstraction. It would have been interesting to see how you work. Oh, definitely. I assume you use your... Sorry, that's just Nomiya. Oh, definitely. I assume you use your feet. It must have been a great trouble to learn it. You should be proud. Will you be pursuing a career as an artist after school? She is bombarded with so many questions she can't even hope to answer all of them. Maybe that's for the best. Rin tends to talk nonsense more than occasionally. So where do you get your ideas? That's the fifth worst. Rin keeps stumbling with her words, looking more and more vexed by the expectant inquiries. Everyone is waiting for her to say something, but she looks like a cat got her tongue. Each question is piling up and just adds to her distress. I fail to hear the question, that is, the proverbial one too many. It's like a motor stalling. Yeah, she's just having a panic attack. Rin just freezes for a long, long second until she falls on her knees, hitting the floor and ungracefully like a sack of potatoes. Are you alright? I don't know. Shizuka, what's wrong, girl? I don't know what's wrong. Terrible silence falls upon the people gathered around Rin. Everyone is petrified, not knowing how to react to her sudden seizure or something. She breathes with deep, trembling gasps as if she was running out of air, staring ahead of herself with hollow eyes. Seeing that nobody does anything, I force myself to step to Rin and lift her up from the floor, letting her lean against me to keep standing. Would you like some fresh air? Go. Okay, let's go outside for a bit. I don't even wait for her to answer before grasping her shoulder and pulling her past the stunned-looking Nomiya, Sai, Emmy, and guests. Excuse us. A cool evening breeze hits my face at the door. I let go of Rin, and she leans against the stone wall, trying to catch her breath. You alright? I couldn't say anything. Rin is still not looking at me, so I look away too. The streetlights and colored neon signs twist my vision into a blur of near blindness, forcing me to look back. At least she talks, even if not directing her words to me. What did you want to say? Maybe both of us can imagine that we are talking to an invisible friend. I don't know. Something that would have meant something. The silence lasts for a long time. I don't feel comfortable being alone with Rin, and I'm not good at imagining things that don't exist do, or that things that exist don't. We should go back in. The guest Sai invited her in there. They probably want to meet you and talk with you. You know, ask you questions and stuff about those paintings you worked so hard for. I don't want them to ask me questions like that. I can never say the right things. What do you want then? That someone... Okay, it didn't say that, okay. That someone wouldn't have to ask me questions for me. Aren't you happy people are interested in your paintings? But if you found someone like, then what? So I thought that this one sounded really aggressive. Aren't you happy people are interested in your paintings? As opposed to this one, it's sort of asking what she wants, so. But if you found someone like that, then what? Do you really think that would be some kind of be-all, end-all thing? Star-crossed lovers and happily ever after? My question is met with a blank stare, the darkness in her eyes unfazed by the thinly veiled bitterness. No, I don't think that. But at least then I wouldn't have to be alone. She whispers the words in the lights of the town, but I hear them anyway. I shouldn't have done this. Not yet. The exhibition? She nods and closes her eyes, breathing calmly as if to prove she can, and then continues talking to herself. Why? Wrong conjunction of the planets? No, not that. I double-checked. I got up with the left foot, and did everything else left. Right. It's me. I was wrong. She stands straight and stretches before stepping past me into the street. Wait, where are you going? She stops on her tracks and turns around, looking at me quizzically. School. I'm leaving. Why? Because I want to be me. Rin walks off, leaving me behind, utterly confused. Rin! But something she said really touched me, or maybe it was the way she said it. Maybe it was the fact that she said it. I want to say something back to her before I forget this feeling again. As if granting me a wish, Rin stops in her tracks. She doesn't turn around, just keeps waiting for me to say what I want to, even though I didn't have time to think what. Rin, listen, I don't believe you have to be alone, even if you never meet anyone like that. I don't know if she heard my words, but either way, she doesn't react in any way. For the final time, she starts walking away from the gallery. So, where's Tezuka? I can only shake my head, but it doesn't seem to be a sufficient answer. I have to say something. She ran away. What? The horrific realization spreads on his face like wildfire. This is a fiasco. Catastrophe. What is that girl thinking? The most important event of her life, and she just runs off? And you? Why didn't you stop her? I'm gonna hold you personally responsible. He's so angry. Sai interrupts him, holding her hands up calmingly. It's good she intervened. The teacher was starting to get a few weird looks from the nearby guests. Now, Shinichi. She's probably just had stage fright. I don't know her as well as you people do, but I did get the image that she's somewhat peculiar. That kind of thing can happen. It'll be fine. I'll explain that she suddenly became ill. The guests will surely understand. But look around you. Everyone seems to be rather happy with their free wine and chit-chat. The guests will be fine. We're missing opportunities here. Networking, making contacts and acquaintances. As the adults keep arguing about something that can't be helped, Emmy tugs my sleeve to get my attention. She doesn't look very happy either. Come on. Oh, come on. Where? We're gonna find Rin and kick her ass. What? I can't believe it. She is so stupid. That Rin, how can she do this? I'm telling you, she doesn't have a bit of common sense in her head. Emmy's seriously angry, only missing steam rising from her ears. I guess I understand Emmy. She is that kind of person. Give up has never been a part of her vocabulary. Maybe she feels it shouldn't be a part of anyone's vocabulary. It's probably best to leave her alone for tonight. What? Are you a Rin expert now? She takes a firm stance and puts her hands on her hips confrontationally. It's like she wants to pick a fight with me, too. No, I don't think that's even possible in the first place. I just don't think kicking her ass would do her any good. My melancholic remark surprisingly works as Emmy slumps her shoulders a little and sighs. I know that. You do? The last time I did that, it changed nothing. Whoa, the audio freaked me out. The ride back to school in an empty late-night bus is silent. Both of us keep staring at the lights flashing past the windows without saying a word. The nightly grounds are quiet, lit only by the wane moon and yellow lampposts. We say our goodbyes in front of my dormitory. Emmy, reflexively clenching her fist, compels me to ensure that she won't assault Rin in the moment. What? Emmy, reflexively clenching her fist, compels me to ensure that she won't assault Rin the moment I let her out of my sight. Promise me not to scold her? She looks up at me, her eyes again flaring with anger that I match with as calming a stare as I can. It's only easy to face an angry woman if you're not the target of her ire. After a minute of the mismatched staring contest, she sighs and shakes her head in defeat. You are too nice, Isao. Did you know that? She's so cute. Hints of a smile are tugging the corners of her mouth as she says that. She seems a lot more relaxed, with a sudden change of mood. Maybe she wasn't as angry as it seemed to begin with. Maybe her moods change easily. If I was, I would have let you have your way. Does that mean you're only nice to Rin? Both of us are hiding our concern behind empty jokes, but at least it puts me in a good mood. Emmy waggles her eyebrows with a half-amused smirk, trying to push my buttons. Not gonna work. Nope. Just means I'm only not nice to you. Hey. Good night, Emmy. They're a cute couple. Anyway. Not this playthrough.